presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
The Indians' offense carried the momentum over from Minnesota. And once again, it was Jose Ramirez and Edwin Encarnacion who ignited the fire. Corey Kluber didn't need much, but he gladly accepted a 12-run outburst in support of his 5th career shutout. The Tribe looks to remain red hot and on top in the AL Central in support of Josh Tomlin. Next on Sports Time Ohio. The famed Utah Street is where Jason Kipnis visited last night as the Indians once again rolled to a huge win, 12-0 the final over Baltimore. Tonight it's game 2 in this 4-game series. Edwin Encarnacion telling Manny Machado how in 15 games this month he has hit 6 home runs. He's driven in 15 and he has scored 19. Meanwhile, Manny's Orioles have lost 9 of their last 12 games. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Jose Ramirez is doing things that people haven't seen in over 100 years. He's piling up the extra base hits. He's scoring runs. He's doing everything right now.
I don't think you can ever be as hot as Ramirez is right now as far as the extra base hits. He is just, everything he hits seems like it's going to the wall. He has 10 doubles in that 7-game hit streak and 7 doubles, at least a double in every game. 10 out of his 14 extra base hits. He had a triple last night, 3 home runs, and you know he has sparked this whole offense. And Encarnacion has jumped aboard, and they're averaging almost 9 runs in their 6-game winning streak. They're all hitting with runners in scoring position. 19 doubles as a team, 15 multi-run innings. So that separates. You know, when you can go out there and you can put 3-4 runs on the board, that takes ball games away from the other teams.
That's the key. It's not just Jose and Edwin. The team batting average is .279 now in the month of June, and the Tribe has 4 players with at least 34 runs batted in. Only the Houston Astros have more players who have done that so far this year with 5 guys. We'll be back with tonight's play-by-play from Oriole Park here at Camden Yards in Baltimore, coming up next. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution. Souvenir City and beyond. Jason Kipnis literally leaves the ballpark. Oh, baby, goodbye! And it's a 7-0 Cleveland lead. It's over his head! Jose Ramirez is going to turn and burn. He's done it again! Swung out and missed. Hey, struck him out. Corey Kluber goes the distance with a complete game shutout. And we welcome you into Oriole Park at Camden Yards on a warm summer evening as the Indians and the Orioles continue their 4-game series here tonight. Chris Tillman making his warm-up throws out on the mound before we get the game underway. We go downstairs to Andre Nunn.
Well, thank you very much, Matt. The Indians have hit a great stride, and they've played the best offense they've played all year. The word energy has been involved in each and every day and getting this team to where it's at. And last night I talked to Jason Kipnis about what energy means for this team. And tonight's Hear Right sounds of the game.
I think we're doing a good job of focusing more on that day at hand, making sure that coming to the ballpark with the goal of winning that game that day, not worrying about other stuff. I think in the team meeting we've made an emphasis about it, and I think you've seen kind of a different team, a different energy with us last week, and it only shows us what we can do when we bring that energy. So it's kind of teaching ourselves our own lesson by doing it, but it's been a fun week for us.
No doubt about that. The Indians with a 6-game win streak, now 6 games over 500 at 37-31, a 2.5-game lead in the division standings, and Josh Tomlin will be on the mound for the Indians tonight. Let's have a look at the Tribe starting 9 for Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor leading it off. Jason Kipnis bats second. Jose Ramirez, 3 more hits last night, 2 doubles and a triple, will hit third. Edwin Encarnacion, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Carlos Santana in the middle. Heck, folks, it's the exact same lineup as the Indians ran out there last night. Haven't rarely seen that from Tito this year, but it's the same 9 from the night before.
And we will see Chris Tillman, our Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher. He has really struggled. He has lost his last 5 starts. He won his very first one on May 7th, a couple of no decisions, and he's looking for another win.
Tillman's first pitch is on the outside part of the plate for a strike, and we are underway. '86 degrees, our game time temperature. A little bit outside, 1-1.
Totally different night than it was last night. Beautiful night for baseball here in Baltimore.
Rain delayed the start of last night's game by just about a half an hour, but it could not slow down the red-hot hitting Indians. Lindor, the only player last night that did not collect a hit. He went 0 for 6. That's outside, 2-2.
Tillman, a guy that usually throws a high fastball, and he follows that up with his curve. And you can see he's missing his spots early, just getting a feel. And of course, it is the first inning, but he's normally he comes right at you. And there's the numbers in his last 5 starts. Not good at all.
Smacked out of play. Stage 2-2. Lindor, meanwhile, came out of the gates on fire. I mean, he batted .309 in the month of April with 7 homers, 17 runs batted in. In the month of May, he cooled off, hitting .245. But in June, he is flat out bottomed out, hitting his .176. The 2-2. Breaking ball hit the other way, just foul. But despite the fact that he's been struggling, and last night he was the only guy that didn't collect a hit, it did not dampen his enthusiasm one bit. He was not sulking. He wasn't pouting. He was cheering on his teammates. He was right there at the top step of the dugout with high fives. And Terry Francona, I know, certainly appreciated that kind of effort from Lindor last night. Now a line drive base hit in the left field.
That's a good swing. He had a breaking ball upstairs that he was able to get on top of. And that's what you look at these kids saying, get the ball. Take a look at this curveball on our Nissan pitch tracker. It's up, and it made it easier for him to take it that way, but you still have to get on top of it. He does. So he will start it off with a base hit. Get the ball. Look at, even if you're not hitting, he still goes out there and plays shortstop unbelievably.
And everybody has ups and downs. Jason Kipnis, 2 for 3 last night. Became the 50th visiting player to homer out onto Utah Street beyond the confines of Oriole Park. Our photographer Steve Ball went out and found the spot where Kipnis's ball landed last night. And ironically, his ball landed almost right next to Asdrubal Cabrera's home run from 2012.
How about that? That came in June as well.
X marks the spot.
Yes, it does.
The thing that I took away from that last night too, and I know you've said this a million times, you watched his swing. Didn't look like there was any more effort than on a normal base hit, but that ball just flew out.
He picked up, he got a fastball that was about, you know, waist high or a little bit down, but right into his zone, and he just put a nice smooth swing on it.
He rockets this one to deep right field, but that's going to hook foul right in front of the pole.
That fan almost got conked with it looking into the sun. Ended up getting the ball. This is a pitch coming. That's his. He loves that zone. That's his nitro zone right there. Just a little out in front of it.
And you can see that defensively here in Baltimore, Seth Smith, he's a good 100 feet off the line in right field, because anything down into that corner, it's a double anyway.
Yeah, that's automatic, and you do. You give the lines, protect the alleys. You know, sometimes if the ball's hit hard enough on a line drive out in right field, he can get over there and it comes back to him. You can hold him to a single here. We've seen that a number of times. You've got to really hustle out of the box if you hit the ball hard down the right field line or that way.
Kipnis pops this one straight up. Playable for Castillo, the catcher. Called off. Machado basket catch for out number 1.
That went from a routine play for Castillo to Machado calling him off. But he ended up making the catch. Let's take a look at the defense, brought to you by WB Mason for Baltimore. Kim is in left field, Jones in center, Smith in right. Machado at third, Tejada at short, Scope at second, Mancini at first, Castillo behind the plate. They have the exact same lineup as the Indians last night, which we were talking before the game saying that's a rarity in its own right for two teams to do that.
I can't remember a time it's happened yet this year. Kerwin Danley calling the balls and strikes. And Jose Ramirez steps in and looks at a pitch up and away, ball 1. Upstairs and off the plate again, 2-0.
Yeah, this is the guy you don't want to make a mistake on. He's been hitting everything. 11 hit games this year, which ranks first in the league. 23 doubles. First, 37 extra base hits. He has just been piling it on. Changeup. Pulled the string on him on a 2-0 count. Tillman mixes up his pitches, but he's a guy that has to hit his mark. When he's on, he makes it look very easy. He's just going through a rough patch right now with Baltimore, as is their whole pitching staff.
Off the end of the bat foul.
Back-to-back changeups. Last night was the 16th consecutive game that the Orioles have given up at least 5 runs, which is an American League record.
Now the 2-2. And Ramirez takes just off the plate.
3-2 count. You have to start Frankie here in this situation, the way Ramirez has been swinging it. Because if it's a strike, you figure he's going to put it in play, and put it in play hard. So you get Lindor with a head start.
Frankie does not go, and it's down low. Ball 4, and the Indians have 2 on with 1 out. Storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. You don't want to pitch to Ramirez, then you have to pitch to Encarnacion, and they're both equally hot right now. And for Josh Tomlin, put up some early zeros. And perhaps he can be the beneficiary, as Corey Kluber was last night.
Well, the way it's been going, they've been scoring early, and it's made it a lot easier for the pitchers. Although they didn't start till the middle innings yesterday, then they did some damage. 4 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th.
Now Eddie's having himself quite a month of June. Batting .360 with 6 homers. 15 runs batted in 15 games.
And he scored a boatload of runs as well.
Throw to second. Lindor back with a dive, and they call him out.
That's just a mistake there by Lindor. Off second. They're going to hold on and see if he's safe with the tag. The umpire called him out, but you can see he's straying, and they put it on, and it just goes right past him. The ball beats him.
I think he's safe.
Well, it looked like he could have got that hand back in there right with the tag. I would say they may want to challenge that. But now here you go. You're in the 1st inning. You have 1 out. If it's not,
oh, man, that is really close.
I know
though,
it
isn't
is. So if you're wrong, they're not going to take the chance, and that's because it's the 1st inning here.
That closer look, you can see it looked like the glove did catch the forearm just before he got to the bag, and definitely not worth a challenge.
Well, that's just a lack of concentration there by Lindor.
Well, that's a big second out now for Tillman. He went from really being in a tough spot to one pitch could get him out of this. Oh, he goes to the backstop, and down to second goes Ramirez on a wild pitch.
Well,
what happened here?
I don't know. I mean, you're not used to it. Look at it. He missed the left-handed batter's box. You talk about pulling the ball and spinning off of it. I don't care whatever pitch that was. That thing just took off. Holy cow. When I'm looking at the spot where that hit, that's 5 feet away.
Down low, 3-1.
Maybe he threw that pitch and gives him first base open and allows him to walk Encarnacion. That's the only thing I can think of. That was I've never seen a pitch like that in a long time.
Not unless a guy completely fell off the mound.
Right.
He hung one. Edwin rockets it to deep left field and gone into the second deck. Oh, get that man an extra order of crab cakes. A 2-out 2-run homer for Encarnacion, his 17th home run of the year, and his month of June continues.
Yeah, I mean, that was either a cutter or it was an off-speed pitch, but he had first base open, and I'm telling you, I don't think I would have pitched to him, because the pitch he threw, watch it, it's going to stay middle of the plate. Oh boy, and he knew it. Well, the Indians going to play from in front again on Encarnacion's 17th home run, giving 39 RBIs. Now he takes over the team lead.
Oh my goodness, he did it again. That's the second time he's thrown a ball to the backstop in the inning.
Well, I don't know what's going on here. To the right-hander, he threw one past the left-handed batter's box, and now he throws one up and away. Holy smokes.
Wellington Castillo's got to be wondering what's going on here. Well, Edwin Encarnacion destroyed that baseball. We have seen him, Arch, hit some moonshots on this road trip.
He's not missing the baseball right now, and you have to pitch around him if you're the opposing teams.
Up the ladder, 1-1 on Chisenhall. And the pitch is inside. 2-1.
Well, and you go back to the Lindor getting picked off a second base, or it would have been a 3-run home run.
Well, it's 3-1 at Chisenhall, and the way he's throwing the baseball, I don't know how long he's going to be around. He's missing this target by a ton.
Well, I look at his line so far this year. The most he's pitched is 6 innings in a couple of games. But that is it. He hasn't gone very long, and he just doesn't look like the same guy.
Elevated fastball has been able to get Chisenhall a couple of times in this at bat. So that keeps him alive here at 3-2. But if he gets that ball down a little bit more, he could be in trouble, because Lonnie has been swinging it very well lately. Popped up, foul out of play. And Lonnie was 3 for 6 last night with the double and 2 runs batted in. But you look at his numbers on this road trip: 7 for 19, 2 homers, 8 runs batted in. Castillo calling for the fastball. And again, he's just able to elevate that enough to where Lonnie can't destroy it. But if he misses down around the belt, two down, bases empty. And that's up and away. Ball 4. He's walked his second in the inning, and it stays alive.
You know, normally, granted, I haven't seen Tillman pitch in a year, but normally he throws his fastball up in the zone, but he hits with his curveball down in the zone, and his changeup stay down. And that's where he can change your eye level. And then when you're looking for that off-speed pitch down, he can zoom a fastball by you. But I'll tell you, he looks like a different guy to me. Mechanically, he looks lost out there.
Well, Rick, that home run that Edwin hit that landed in the second deck in left field, that's only the second time that's happened this year. Manny Machado of the Orioles hit one up there earlier this year. But remember, back in Minnesota, he hit all 3 of his home runs into that second deck in Minneapolis.
No cheapies or no siree. Look at you're getting some movement out there already. They've seen this for the last 5 starts from Tillman. I mean, Tillman, he's allowed a 388 average to hitters with no one on base. And the first time through a lineup, hitters are hitting 400 off him with 4 home runs. So he just hasn't gotten off to a good start, and it gets worse after that.
Roger McDowell, the pitching coach, He must. I wonder if he's got that same sign Mike Hargrove used to have in his office. Remember the sign Grover had that said there was a lot about this outfit they didn't tell me before I signed on?
Yeah, right.
Because McDowell's got to be wondering, man, what have I gotten myself into here? This pitching staff is literally crumbling right now for Baltimore. And, you know, look, everybody wants to point fingers at the pitching coach. You can only do so much.
Right.
But we know Baldo's struggles.
They have some injuries. They have pitchers on the DL, but it's always been about pitching with Baltimore. They get always hit. They hit home runs. They play very good baseball in their home park. They were off to a good start this year, and then I'll tell you what, the pitching is everything.
Santana waiting to see if he'll see a strike, and he lifts the 2-0 pitch to left, and that gets Tillman out of the inning. But Edwin Encarnacion, kaboom, 2-run homer, 2-0 Cleveland. Bottom of the first. Here's the Baltimore starting 9 for Buck Showalter. Seth Smith will lead it off. Manny Machado, Adam Jones. Then it's Trumbo, Mancini, and Scope. Castillo, Kim, Tejada. Same 9 they had last night. Only guys with hits were Smith, Jones, and Kim. 3 singles. That was all Kluber allowed in his complete game shutout win.
Yeah, and following suit, Josh Tomlin will be the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. His offense got him a lot of runs in his last start against the Dodgers. He got the win, went 5 innings, 7 hits, and 4 runs. He left leading that game 8-4. His offense treated him very well. Give him a good start here tonight, too.
And a strike over the outside corner.
Josh 3-3 in his career against the Orioles. He's 2-1 in this ballpark. But you always have concern with fly ball pitchers in this ballpark, especially in June.
Right at Lindor.
That's what you like to see, ground balls.
1 down.
The defense brought to you by Ram looks like this. Same as last night. Jackson on the left, Zimmer in center, Chisenhall in right. Ramirez and Lindor on the left side, Kipnis and Santana on the right, with Gomes catching.
Manny Machado looks at a strike at the knees. He shoots one high in the air, deep left. Back is Jackson, and it's gone. Manny Machado's 14th of the year. And the 12th allowed by Josh Tomlin.
Well, the Orioles can do this to you in this ballpark. That's their 100th home run on the year, and Machado hits his 14th, so they come right back. It was a curveball from Tomlin. He stayed back, and they have great power. You're going to take a look at it. Boom, right there. A little too much of the plate, and I think Josh knew it as soon as he let it go.
And Adam Jones now steps in.
Jones is a guy that has put up some very good numbers against Josh Tomlin in his career. 10 for 18. Homer and 3 RBI. You know, when they're going through the streak like they are with their pitching, man, offensively you feel like you have to go out and score runs. I mean, you know you're going to have to put a lot of offense on the board.
Ramirez snares the line drive off the bat of Jones for out number 2.
Well, line drive, ball hit well, but Ramirez took about a step right into the glove and flips it around the infield.
Now Mark Trumbo. He was literally fit to be tied last night.
Yes.
Trying to get a hit off Corey Kluber.
Hey, Kluber was about as good as you can pitch. You can't pitch any better than Corey pitched last night. You mentioned it during the telecast. He could have had a no-hitter. They had 3 hits. They all came with 2 outs in an inning. But he was awesome.
Yeah, he had that kind of stuff last night.
And, you know, I don't think he threw more than 14 pitches in any inning. He had a 6-pitch inning mixed in there. That's how you get complete games. 11 strikeouts, no walks, 3 hits allowed.
And I think what made him feel really good more than anything else last night was that he was able to give the bullpen an entire night off after, you know, they were really used quite a bit over the weekend in Minneapolis with the doubleheader.
Yeah. And you know what? I think he tries to do that every time he pitches. His goal is to go out there and complete the game. And that you can't say that about many pitchers in the game of baseball today.
Well, we told you last night how rare the complete game is. I mean, he has 2, and he's 1 behind the league leader who has 3, and that's Irvin Santana.
Yeah, but his 2 are shutouts. Good pitch.
Very good pitch. Just missed.
Just a little bit off the plate, a little cutter away. But that's a teaser right there. Just off the dish. He didn't swing at it, so he lives for 1 more pitch here.
Got him that time.
Tried the other side of the plate.
Josh Tomlin strikes out Trumbo to end the inning, but Manny Machado blasts one into the seats. 2-1 Cleveland after an inning.
KeyBank Kids Fun Day. After the game, stick around. Kids get to run the bases, presented by Cleveland Clinic's Children's. Visit Indians.com for the tickets.
Yan Gomes leads off the second inning for Cleveland. 2 for 5 with a double last night.
That's going to stay in.
And it's the first baseman Mancini who makes the play 1 away. Stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. And Baltimore starting pitching has been a disaster of late. Look at the ERA of 10.31 in their last 12 games.
That's hard to go through, boy, as a team. It really is. You go out there, you feel like that doesn't matter what you throw, it's getting hit somewhere. But sooner or later, someone's going to have to stop it. Their best pitcher last night, Bundy, he didn't really have it. He said today left a lot of pitches middle of the plate, but in the first 3 innings he got through it. But boy, when he missed, they took advantage.
He was more succinct than that. He said, I had nothing.
Yeah.
And the Indians quickly showed him the exit.
Well, the way they're swinging it as a team, they're not missing much. Pitches they were falling off earlier in the year, they're hitting hard somewhere. And I mean, the doubles they had last night, they set a season high for extra base hits in a game with 10. They had 7 doubles, a triple, a couple of homers.
Zimmer shoots one. That's going for extra bases. One hops the wall and left. He'll go to second base with a double. And that's already his 6th double on the year.
Yeah, that was a very nice swing right there. Stayed on a fastball away and able to get on top of it. And hit it to left. That's basically where it was pitched. Now, am I seeing something where he wants the ball inside and it's actually away? He's missing his spots by a lot. And it's been all for all first inning and right now. So that ball shoots into the corner. Zimmer gets his 6th double. So an opportunity now with a runner in scoring position.
One on, one out. Austin Jackson. He's coming off a terrific performance last night.
Yeah, he had a very good night last night. Even his outs were loud.
Yeah. In fact, Terry Francona said afterwards, he goes, I think the hardest ball he hit was the one they caught at the wall.
It was, and that was the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Or they would have had 3 more. They could have had a 6-run inning.
Just did catch the top of the strike zone to even the count. Last night, if you missed it, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, the Indians scored they scored 11 of their 12 runs. They sent 9 men to the plate in the 4th, 9 men to the plate in the 5th, 8 men went to bat in the 6th inning. That didn't miss by much, but it's a little low, and he's been so erratic, it's tough to get the calls when they're borderline.
For Tillman, that's a tough pitch for him to make when he's got to try and throw that ball down and away for a strike. The big guy just can't. He's got to work so hard to get it over that way. He just has a tough time getting it down there.
And that's low 3-1. He walked 2 in the 1st inning. And he was aided by a pickoff of that man, Lindor, at second base. Otherwise, as you said, it could have been an even bigger inning.
It should have been a big inning. Bigger.
The 3-1 pitch to shallow right, and Smith makes the catch there, 2 down. Last night in the 4th inning, it was 4 doubles, accounting for 4 runs in the 4th.
Yeah, they just, I'm telling you, they hit the gaps all night long. And they didn't slow down. And you know, this is a place where they've had a tough time winning in the last 2 years. They've only won 2 games here since, what, 2015.
Overall, the Indians had lost 10 of their last 12 against Baltimore before the win last night in the series opener. Lindor lined a single the other way to left field his first time up.
This is one of those parks you come to. I figure you always figure you have to score 5 runs if you want to win a game in this ballpark.
Two and 0.
Thing that's also been good for the Indians. Not only are they hitting the ball well, but they're drawing a lot of walks. And when they draw walks and they get those extra base runners, it seems to spur this team on a little bit.
Two and 1 on the foul back.
Everybody's starting to trust everybody in the lineup. Just keep the line moving. Don't be afraid to take your walks.
Bradley Zimmer with tremendous speed at second base. Out of play. Even with the great throwing arm of Adam Jones in center field, you figure any kind of ball hit to the outfield, he's going to score from second and 2 outs.
Well, yeah, with his speed, you're right. Just hit some outfield grass, because I'll tell you what, Mike Sarbaugh is going to send him. He says, on the swing of the bat, you come, kid, because I'm going to send you home.
All right, Lindor waits the 2-2 pitch. Slaps it the other way, foul. And Castillo wants to go out.
Well, because did you see the pitch? He wanted it inside.
He can't get it in there, though.
He cannot throw that ball in the inner part of play. Watch where he's sitting. He wants it in. He's going to have to reach for it away. That was a ball away. So you're looking at about 18 to 20 inches he's missing his target by. And, you know, for a major league pitcher, that's hard to believe.
Well, remember the one pitch, and I don't know if something happened mechanically, but he, on that side of the plate, that's the one where he missed. He missed on the other side of the batter's box.
Yeah.
The left-handed batter's box. So maybe to that side of the plate, he just, for some reason, can't execute there. Right at the second baseman. Scope throws him out. So Chris Tillman bobs and weaves his way through the second. 2-1 Cleveland. 2-1, Cleveland leading it. Bottom of the second, and Trey Mancini will lead off for Baltimore. Pounds it into the ground foul. Mancini.
Interesting rookie as
Yeah,
far
really.
as power goes.
He had 10 home runs in his first 26 career games.
Yeah, not too long ago ended up hitting a home run to tie the game in the 9th and then hit another one to win it.
Only guys that had hit more in their first 26 games, Gary Sanchez of the Yankees and your guy Boomer Scott.
Oh yeah, the Boomer. Well, he's got a flair for the dramatics. He gets big hits for him.
Sky high pop up center field. Zimmer. Bradley makes the catch, 1 down. Let's go down to Andre.
Well, one of the conversations, Matt, Rick, we've had throughout this season is about the ball flying out of the ballpark. Rick, you said in the last inning that you feel like you got to score 5 runs anytime you come to this ballpark.
Yeah.
Buck Showalter was talking about this park today, and he said he feels like the ball is flying out of this park like never before. Now, he's managed here for a pretty decent amount of time. He just feels like there were some balls last night he thought were line drives that went out of the ballpark. I talked to Tito about it. He laughed. He says, heck, every time he comes here, he feels every ball goes to the warning track.
Yeah. Andre, consider this. This ballpark opened in 1992. And in the first 25 years of this ballpark's existence, 2 baseballs were hit into that second deck in left field. And now we're tied at 2. Jonathan Scope hits his 14th of the year to tie Manny Machado. And a couple of solo stingers into the seats and left. 2-2 in the second.
Well, I don't care where that one was hit. That would have been out of any ballpark. But who knows? That ball is traveling everywhere. Maybe it is juiced. Who knows? This is going to be a fastball from Tomlin, and Jonathan Scope just hit a line drive, and it didn't take long to get into the seats. So we are all even.
So 2 balls were hit into that second deck in left field in the first 25 years of this ballpark, and it's already been done twice this year. Manny Machado and now Edwin has done it.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, well, I guess that tells you,
And this is what Buck's been here 8 years, so he knows this ballpark, and he knows when balls should go out.
Well, someone even said to me about the balls in Utah Street. Is it a big deal anymore?
No.
You know what I mean? It used to be, but is it really that big of a deal when a ball goes out there?
No, I agree with you. I don't think so.
Oh, I do. I think that's still I mean, you're talking about 90 guys have done it?
Yeah.
That's it?
It's cool. Somebody said to me, well, why don't we start marking the ones that hit off the building over there?
The 0-2 is a little bit outside. Rex Hudler was the first guy to do it, by the way. We got to talk to Rex about this. It was off Jamie Moyer, 1995.
And he hit one up into the second deck up there. No kidding.
The only other guy to do it, other than the ones we've mentioned tonight. Oh, what a play by Ramirez as he makes a perfect throw across to retire Castillo, 2 down.
That was a great play.
Mark Reynolds did it in 2011, but you don't. That's not a surprise because he's a masher.
He's going to a backhanded side, a one-hopper. He rights himself, takes a little crow hop, and he had enough time because Castillo was running. But that was a nice play by Ramirez.
But already, this game, you're getting the feeling it's going to take. It's going to take a bunch of runs. You figure 8 maybe. Well, you might need 8 to win this one.
You have 2 fly ball pitchers pitching in this ball game for the most part. Controlled pitchers, they're not overpowering, and they have to hit their spots. So if you don't, you can see what can happen. It can get loud in here quickly.
The 0-1. I think the most important thing in a game like this and in a park like this, where Tomlin will surrender some home runs, but he's only walked 6 all year.
Yeah, give them solo shots if they get them.
Tillman has already dodged a few bullets here tonight, but
it's early.
You wonder how long he can continue to do that. Tomlin's 2-1. And Kim a little late on it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hyun-Soo Kim was 1 for 3 last night. Got him looking. Josh Tomlin's second strikeout of the night, but he's also given up 2 solo shots, and the Orioles have tied the game at 2 through 2 innings of play.
For a series against the Minnesota Twins, and on Friday after the game, come on out. Fireworks will be put on by Wayside Furniture. And also, fans will receive 10,000 fans are going to receive sunglasses courtesy of Subway. It's also Dollar Dog Night. So let's go. Big weekend. Minnesota Twins coming back into town.
Jason Kipnis fouled out his first time up. Looks at a breaking ball in the dirt.
Well, another thing too, when we were talking about Chris Tillman, he's falling behind. They're getting into hitters counts. And you've got to continue to make good pitches when you get hitters in hitters counts.
And he popped him up. T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. So far here in the month of June, a number of players vying for Player of the Month honors, including Jose Ramirez and Edwin Encarnacion. Mike Zunino just out of nowhere. Look at 26 runs batted in.
Well, he's homered a couple of times in a few games, and there's some really impressive numbers up there.
All across the board.
That's just a month's worth of work, and there's still a ways to go.
Right. Could be a very tough decision for the people who vote. Jose Ramirez walked in, scored in the first. Looks at a ball outside. Just did graze the top of the strike zone. That one, I don't know. Ramirez, you can see him shaking his head, but it's 1-2.
Well, you're going to see a way that was a little bit off the plate, but as long as they don't call the third one out there the way Ramirez is swinging it, he still has one swing left.
Bangs it on the ground to first. Trey Mancini just does beat him to the bag. 2 down. Edwin Encarnacion back in the first inning.
Well, I don't know if that was a cutter or what, but it stayed right there in the middle in. And he just crunched it.
"17 homers now, 39 runs batted in." You talk about when a guy gets hot, how he can really take off. That's exactly what we've seen from Edwin here in the month of June. And a called strike. Look at that. In his last 30 games.
Well, he's hitting pitches he was fouling off and missing earlier in the year. And now it's like the no pass zone. They're not getting by. He's seeing more pitches. He's seeing more balls. They're walking him.
Well, that's the other thing. You referenced it earlier. The number of runs he's been scoring lately.
Yeah, he's been on base, and they're paying for it.
He scored 19 runs in the last 15 games. To third, Machado. And Chris Tillman has a 1-2-3 third inning. 2-2 game. Want to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Ruben Tejada, the number 9 hitter in the Orioles lineup, 0 for 3 last night, takes a strike. In the air to right field, Lonnie Chisenhall. 1 down. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. And for Baltimore, their shortstop, Chris Davis, their power hitting first baseman. Ryan Flaherty, he's a guy that can move around, play some different positions. Their closer, Zach Britton. Setup guy, Darren O'Day.
O'Day may be ready to go on Friday. He was out and pitched, I think it was yesterday. They'll go again tomorrow and probably be ready on Friday for him if everything goes right.
Back to the top of the order, Seth Smith, a ground out his only time up. Ball, 1 strike. 2 balls and a strike. Josh Tomlin has allowed just 2 hits, but both of them solo home runs. Both of them to left field by right-handed hitters, of which the Orioles have plenty. 7 of their 9 back from the right side of the plate. Seth Smith and Hyun-Soo Kim, the 8th place hitter, the only lefties. Baltimore, a rare team in that they don't have any switch hitters.
That certainly is rare nowadays.
(3-1). Foul past Wayne Kirby at first.
Well, let me send out happy birthday wishes to Karen Aldred, turning 72 in Paulding, Ohio. Karen, happy birthday to you. Look at Kurt. He's still talking.
Making fun of Sandy.
Yeah, he talks in his sleep. You can hear him when they're down on the field during batting practice up here.
Looks like he's got a bullhorn tied around his neck. 2 down. Coming up tonight after the ball game, it's the Tribe Report presented by GMC. Josh Tomlin's special Father's Day, Ryan Merritt's memorable start, and the plays of the week brought to you by GMC. It's the Tribe Report following the ball game here tonight on Sports Time Ohio. You know, speaking of Sandy Alomar and that ball that was ripped by Francisco Lindor last night and almost took him out. Frankie went to Sandy after that and said, you know, you okay? He said Sandy was still sweating.
Hey, it was close.
Sandy said Wayne Kirby kept yelling at him to get in the box. That's what, remember we kept wondering what I was saying? He said he kept yelling at him to get in the box, and Sandy said, you get out here.
Ground ball in the hole. Lindor has it, but can't quite throw out Machado.
Yeah, it was a wonderful effort. Ramirez diving for it, got past him, so it goes to show you how far Lindor had to range to his right. He gets it on the backhand, but just couldn't get anything on the throw. And he tries to throw it on the ground and get that skip, and it just checked up on him right there. But an excellent effort. Good hustle by Machado to beat it out. He's now 2 for 2. But hit it to the right hole.
You know, speaking of the Orioles and how their lineup is constructed, remember they had Matt Wieters here for a number of years. He was a key free agent.
Yeah. Well,
many wondered what they would do. They didn't keep him. He signed with the Nationals.
He was a free agent for a couple of years, and then they ended up bringing him back for 1. Remember?
That's right. Yeah.
And he was a free agent. He couldn't get a big deal out there. They brought him back for 1 more, and the same thing happened, and then the Nationals signed him away.
Key spot here for Josh Tomlin. Trying to get out of this inning, keep it 2-2 game. Adam Jones hit one right on the nose his first time up, but it was a line drive at the third baseman, Jose Ramirez. Manny Machado has stolen 4 out of 5 on the year. But I don't know that we'll see him running.
No, not in this situation.
Not with Tomlin, and it's a bad combination, I think, for him.
Well, it is. He pays attention to him, and you got a guy that have very good numbers against Tomlin in the box.
It's 0-2. You know, you've always said too, and I think Manny Machado is one of those guys. He's the type of base stealer that takes him when you fall asleep.
You don't pay attention to him. Exactly. He knows when you're coming set and you just get into a pattern, you go and you're not paying attention to him. There's a lot of guys that could steal 10, 12 bases if they do that all year long.
And on his hands, fouled away.
He doubled up with the fastball there. You can see 80%, and that's what you'd love to see, 80% from your base stealing. But he only has 5 attempts, so that goes to show you he picks and chooses when he runs. He's not very aggressive.
And this isn't a ballpark that you want to make extra outs.
Right, not on the bases because it's a home run park. It's like a lot of the American League East parks. You can hit homers and score a lot of runs, so you don't make outs on the bases. Fenway Park's that way. Toronto's that way. They're good offensive ballparks to hit in.
Really really, for the most part, since the ballpark renaissance occurred, starting with, I really think this is the one that started it. I know
Chicago.
I know
was
New Comiskey was
right.
89, but
right.
this is when it really began. All of the parks are hitter-homer friendly. There are very few that are true pitcher parks of the newly constructed ones.
I agree with you.
Ramirez with a nice play on the run to throw him out. And the side is retired. 3 complete from Baltimore. Just off the inner harbor, we're tied at 2. Lonnie Chisenhall, last 6 games belting it at a pretty good clip. He's been really clutch in the pinch hit role, and he likes coming to Baltimore. Chris Tillman with the first pitch strike.
That's a pitch he's had a hard time throwing for a strike tonight. Is his curveball, and usually that's a very effective pitch for him. Throws it about a third of the time.
Up and away.
Tillman in his career against the Indians is 5-2 with a 4.17 ERA. He's won 3 straight starts against the Tribe and 5 of his last 6. Last start came back in Progressive Field last May. Tossed 6 innings.
Line drive base hit into left field.
There's a nice stroke right there. Going the other way.
Snaps a string of 5 in a row set down by Tillman.
See, that ball was off the plate away, and he just stayed right on it. His head was down. He got on top of the ball and hit a line drive to left. Take your base hits that way. Next at bat, you may get something on the middle of the plate in. And you can see 10 of his base hits have come to left field, 12 to center. Pretty much
spread it around.
Yes, he does. He spreads the wealth, but he likes to pull, as Andre said.
Tito loved the fact that last night Carlos Santana hit a home run right-handed, and then later in the game from this side of the plate served the ball the other way to left center field.
Carlos teases you like that. When he puts a stroke to left field, you say, boy, that was a nice swing. But then he ends up getting pull happy again. And he was like that a lot in Minnesota. So it was nice to see that.
He also said he shortened his stride a little bit. He shortened the swing. He's not that long loopy swing of his.
That's the one he brought to Minnesota. But yeah, that short swing like that is it's fun when he gets it rolling.
But you know, Tito said that's just Carlos. He goes, and it's hard. And we talked about this in Minnesota. He goes, there's going to be times where there's going to, he's going to go through periods where he swings like that. But he trusts that he works hard enough he'll get the swing, and his numbers will be what they always are.
Well, that's why he's in there every day, and that last pitch wasn't even close.
That's the second or third time he's done that tonight.
What's he looking at?
He's going to keep Chris Tillman in the game. That's way off the plate.
I can see, you know, you're giving maybe a guy a ball width off the plate, but not a 9 inches. He wants to go inside. Castillo's calling for it. He hasn't been able to get in there consistently. Another one right down
base hit center field. Lonnie will stop at second, and the Indians have their first 2 on here in the 4th.
Well, and there was a good swing by Santana. Just shorten that swing up. You talk about it, and he wanted to go in, and it goes away again. He cannot pitch inside to the left-hander. So if you're up there, cut the plate in half and look away with everything from Tillman. And anything inside, just give it to him, because he hasn't proven he can throw it in there. So back-to-back singles. They have the 4th inning off and rolling. And this is when they did their damage last night. The 4 doubles, the 4 runs they scored in the 4th.
Yan Gomes fouled out. First base side. His only time up. Bangs it to third. Machado. He goes to second. They get the out there, and they end up getting the double play. Oh, it looked like Baltimore had bungled that completely, and they still turned 2.
Well, I don't know what Machado was thinking. He wanted to tag him in and go to second. And Chisnell did the right thing. He was backing up, but then he finally threw the ball to get that runner, and Scope goes to third base. And if you're Chisnell, it's almost like you want to get in the line of the throw. He couldn't do it. And they get a double play on it.
It's not often that a hitter bangs into a double play, and he's the one that ends up on base. Yeah, Bradley Zimmer swings and misses. It's one of those games where, as this has unfolded, we're into the 4th inning now. I don't know how Chris Tillman's doing this. You talk about smoke and mirrors. This is it, baby. Popped him up out of play.
Well, we're seeing continually that everything is away to the left-handers. He cannot find the as he's looking in the glove side of the plate.
Well, Bradley Zimmer had a nice opposite field stroke for a double his first time up. Maybe if Castillo wants a ball inside, he should set up outside.
Well, it just seems weird.
He bounces one and he gets away, and in the scoring position is Gomes.
Okay, wild pitch.
Second one of those tonight. It's the second wild pitch, but it's the 4th that has gone past Castillo. He's done that twice with his breaking ball, and then he's missed with fastballs that have both gone directly to the backstop tonight. But only twice has it happened with a runner on base. Came inside and missed. for the full count.
That's the first one he's been able to go in there and at least get it around the plate. It's a good pitch, but he hasn't been able to go in there. That had a little run to it, but that was, to me, that's an effective pitch. But that's the first one I've seen in there tonight like that. From 0-2 to 3-2.
Missed outside, ball 4.
Kid, he does a nice job when he's down in the count, battling.
Sent back downstairs to Andre.
Well, you know, Arch, we talked about this during the rain delay yesterday. There was a stat going into yesterday's game with 0-2 counts. Bradley Zimmer is hitting .429. Now, there was a lot of talk about him being a guy that struck out a lot in the minors. Why do you think he's had so much success when he's gotten to that 0-2 count here in the big leagues?
I think pitchers are around the plate more than they are down in the minor leagues, to be honest with you. You know, they try to put you away, or they may try to get you to expand, and he's been able to lay off. Right there's a case in point. He went from 0-2 and he drew the walk.
He did, but look at the pitch selection. There was a couple balls down in the dirt, no fastballs up. That's what I thought we would see.
Austin Jackson with a base hit into right field, coming around third. Gomes going to try to score. Throw to the plate, cut off, and the Indians take the lead 3-2. Austin Jackson in the clutch with an opposite field 2-out RBI single, and for Austin Jackson, his 4th hit on the year with runners in scoring position.
Well, that's a nice job of getting it done with 2 outs. They get the double play, and then an 0-2 walk keeps the inning going, and Jackson jumps on a pitch, and I'll tell you, not a good throw from Smith in right field. You had Gomes running. I thought they had every opportunity to make a good throw. He could barely hit his cutoff man.
How about Austin Jackson? He had 1 hit this year with a runner in scoring position. He's had 3 in the last 2 nights.
Love it. And he's hitting 9th, and that's nice. You're getting production from the bottom part of the lineup. I love it.
He's one of those guys you love having down at the bottom part of the lineup.
Yes.
Because he's a veteran. You know, he's let off for most of his career, or he's hit somewhere in a meaningful part of the order. So, you know, he may not be quote unquote the same player he was before, but he's got the experience that you don't normally see in a 9-place hitter.
No, you take a lot of pressure off him. He knows the league, he knows the pitchers, he knows the division that we play in. So yeah, he's a veteran. That certainly helps, and he knows his role.
Francisco Lindor 1 for 2 tonight. He had a base hit in the first, grounded out to end the 2nd inning. But now he's sitting 2-0.
That's amazing. Just don't let him off the hook.
It looked like that's exactly what was going to happen after that oddball double play that occurred.
It was. It's strange how an inning can fall apart and then be put right back together. Okay, there's one he threw in there for a strike. For the first time tonight that I can remember. Tillman is battling out there.
First and third. 2 down. 2-1 pitch. Up and away. 3-1.
Well, if you're Lindor, make him get the fastball down. Don't help him out.
Bradley Zimmer, the runner at third base. Austin Jackson at first.
That might have been off the plate. Helped him out 3-1. Not a good pitch. I think he helped him out 3-1 off the dish. Again, they wanted it in. Not a good pitch to swing at when you have the count in your favor. He just swung at it, and it wasn't an aggressive swing. It was like he had 2 strikes on him on that swing.
It looked like it. It wasn't.
Sure.
Like, yeah, it wasn't like I'm going to get after this.
No,
and do
that's not an
damage.
aggressive swing there with the count in your favor.
Well, now the runner at first, Jackson, will be off on the 3-2 pitch. And Lindor That time with 2 strikes, you expect that kind of swing to foul it off.
Yes, when you get to 2 strikes, it's a little different. When you get the count in your favor, you have to be aggressive and disciplined. Look, he's not, but
Orioles outfield playing Lindor straight up. Kim shades him a little toward the line and left. Jackson's off with the pitch, and it's foul out of play once again.
He just cannot pitch inside to a left-hander. They've been calling it all night long. Castillo's got to be going crazy back there.
I told him set up outside and maybe call for it out there. Maybe it'll go in the other way. Now the Baltimore bullpen springing into action as Tillman has reached 80 pitches. Somehow he has kept the Orioles in this game by not allowing the Indians to strike for anything big. 3-2 pitch lined up the alley in right center field. That's the hit the Indians have been looking for. Lindor delivers. It's a 2-out, 2-run double and a 3-run fourth as the Indians now lead it 5-2.
Yeah, he was patient enough. He got one on the plate this time. This ball was away, and Lindor found the gap in right center field. So a big 2-out rally by the Tribe. See, this one was a strike. He didn't have to reach out for it. He covered the plate and still drove it into right center field. So 2-out lightning by the Indians. They have scored 3. And you go back to the double play, the 0-2 walk to Zimmer, Jackson a big base hit, now Lindor with a nice double.
Right-hander Alec Asher is getting loose in the Baltimore bullpen. But boy, Austin Jackson, a really clutch opposite field RBI hit, and Francisco Lindor, you knew he wasn't going to stay down for long. And he delivers a big 2-out, 2-run double. And the Indians, who've hit more doubles than anybody, continue to hurt with that.
Yeah, they're double. Yes, they're a doubles machine. I just can't. I haven't seen a pitcher, and Tillman, I thought he was a very good pitcher, that come in and miss his spots as much as he has. He's walked 3, hasn't struck out anybody. You can see the pitch count, 34 in the first. He's at 23 and had a chance to be out of this inning a long time ago. But boy, he's had to work, and the Indians made him pay.
Jason Kipnis is 0 for 2.
Bottom part of the lineup.
Do you suppose that maybe the reason Tillman hasn't come completely apart at the seams is that he's been so wildly inconsistent that the hitters can't really zero in on any one location?
That could be true. Yes, but they're helping him out a lot, swinging at pitches off the plate.
It's almost like they're going so well. And they're so confident. Yeah.
Yes, they want to hit.
Oh, look at that. 10 for 23 with runners in scoring position. And we're in the middle of game 2 of a 4-game series.
Well, for a team that couldn't buy a hit with runners in scoring position, are now on fire.
Up and away, he missed 2 balls and a strike.
And that's how it goes, boy. It runs in cycles. When you're hitting with runners in scoring position, you look like the greatest team in the world. When you're not, you look like a bad baseball team.
Popped him up again. Castillo maybe to the railing. Yes, he makes the catch. That gets Baltimore out of the inning. But not before the Indians do some 2-out damage. Austin Jackson drives in 1. Francisco Lindor drives in a pair. It's 5-2 Cleveland.
Vote Indians for your 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at Indians.com/vote and catch all the excitement of the 88th Major League All-Star Game presented by MasterCard. That'll be July 11th live on Fox.
Mark Trumbo will lead off. The bottom of the 4th for Baltimore. Called out on strikes his first time up. Tomlin drops a breaking ball in there for strike 1. One of the really cool aspects of the All-Star Game is that as the American League pennant winner, Terry Francona gets to take his entire coaching staff. And so, you know, for all those coaches and some of those guys, it's a rare opportunity to be
awesome.
part of the All-Star Game.
Yeah,
Sandy
really
Alomar played in one, but you know, a guy like Mike Sarbaugh,
right,
Matt Pitaro, Ty Van Berkelo, you know, they didn't have the kind of careers that afforded them those opportunities. So to be part of that, that's a really neat deal.
Yes, it is. It'll be an awesome treat just to be around.
Oh my! Trumbo went up the ladder and clobbers that to deep center field, but Zimmer makes the catch.
Wow. You couldn't have hit that to any deeper part of the ballpark. That's 410. And Zimmer catches the ball and goes right into the wall. Kissed the center field wall.
Look where that was at.
I know, up and away. He got on top of that ball and drives it. Look at Zimmer going back, catches it right into the wall. Give it a little kiss.
Tomlin loves it.
Well, it stayed in the park. That's all.
1 away now for Trey Mancini.
Yeah, when you're pitching to this, navigating your way through this Baltimore lineup for Tomlin, it's a big deal when he pitches from in front. He can expand their zone. When you get behind, it's going to make it awfully different. He hasn't walked anybody. He has 2 strikeouts. He's only given up 3 hits. 2 have left the yard. Look at that.
Oh, it hit the bag and stays fair, obviously down the line. But it's going to be a single for Mancini.
Off the end of the bat. And you know what? And even if that ball did not hit the bag and it goes over it, Santana would not have been able to get it. It would have went down the line. It would have beat him. So either way, it's a single, but it hits the base, goes straight up in the air, and stayed fair. You don't see that too often. You usually see it kick straight up. So a 1-out single for Mancini.
And it brings up Jonathan Scope. He sent a solo shot to the seats in left field his first time up.
Well, Scope hit the fastball for his home run. Machado hit the breaking ball for his.
Also, we were talking about the All-Star game. A number of Indians are right on the cusp of potentially being voted in as starters, including Jose Ramirez at third base, Francisco Lindor at short, Michael Brantley in the outfield, though currently on the DL. He'll be back hopefully in less than a week now. Grounded foul. Well, there you go. See, Jose's less than a $500,000 behind Miguel Sano, who's the leader. He's currently second. Lindor's also second. And Michael Brantley is closer yet in the outfield. I wonder if all 3 of those guys miss on the vote in, if they'll still be named to the team at some point. 0-2. Chop foul.
I don't know how many guys they take anymore. It seems like more and more go each year. I'm not sure how that works out.
Well, you have
to ask Tito.
You have to have a representative from every team.
Well,
still.
yeah, everybody still, yes, your team has to be represented. But if there's a coin flip and Tito gets to choose, I'll guarantee he's going to pick his boys. I know the pitchers they pick, right?
The 0-2 is hit off the end of the bat. Ronnie racing in. Can't get there and it's foul. He just lets it fall.
Boy, he was coming in like he was going to have to make that play, and I think if it would have been a fair ball, he might have been able to dive and catch it, but it landed in foul territory.
Here are the leaders, Arch, in the American League. Understandably, Aaron Judge in the Big Apple with the exploits he's put on as the leading vote getter.
Hosmer overtook first base recently.
And of course, Trout, he won't be playing. He could still get voted in, but he won't be able to play. Done for the year. One on, one out, 0-2 count. Oh, ran it upstairs and got it by him for his third strikeout tonight. Man, you talk about executing. That was perfect.
Yeah, he executed a high fastball out of the strike zone. And that's the pitch he hit, but just enough. Now, you see, he tried to throw that pitch to Trumbo, but he left it away, and he got the barrel of the bat on. That one was inside, and he got the swing and miss.
Brings up the Oriole catcher Wellington Castillo, who grounded out his only time up in the second.
To me, those are the pitches that Josh Tomlin has to, he has to execute, with his stuff. Elevate it, and you can pitch it there. A lot of pitchers have a tough time throwing them.
Yeah.
And he can do it.
Drops a curveball in there for a strike.
Ramirez made a nice play off Castillo his first time up on the backhanded side.
Mancini at first and 2 down. Tomlin's 0-1 pitch on the way. Dots the outside corner, and I don't know. He didn't get the call for some reason. Perfectly located pitch.
He gives it on the other side of the plate, not this side. See, usually umpires, they make you get on the plate on the inside where they're standing, and they guess away, but they'll give you a little bit more on the outside. It's a little different zone tonight.
Downstairs, we were talking earlier about Francisco Lindor, all the Indians who are close, but on the outside looking in with regards to the All-Star game. Andre has a little more insight into that.
Well, Frankie and I have been talking over the last couple of days, and we all know what happened with the Rookie of the Year award with him and Carlos Correa. He says, I don't beg, I'm not playing that well. He goes, but tell your people, vote for me. Do not let him beat me out for the All-Star game. Now, he said it playing, but there's obviously there's a connection between those two guys. And he watches closely. He says, look, if I'm not he goes, if I'm not an All-Star, that's okay. But I got a feeling between Carlos Correa and Francisco Lindor, there may be a little, I don't want to use
rivalry.
Sure. Rivalry, yeah.
Well, yeah, he wants bragging rights.
And he doesn't want him to go over him. He said, I'll do whatever it takes. Vote for me, Cleveland.
Now the 2-1. Swung on and missed. He threw it by him to even the count. I'm not sure when the last day for voting is.
I'm not either. It's usually.
I figure we have at least a week.
It may be right before the calendar turns, the end of June.
Yep. Tomlin ready. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Hey, struck him out to end the inning. Josh has fanned 4 on the night. And after 4 innings of play, the Indians lead it 5-2.
Por mi compañero Francisco Lindor, Jason Kinney, Michael Bradley, Carlos Santana, Edwin Encarnación y voten por mí también. Go try.
That's awesome. Jose telling everybody, vote for Frankie, vote for Brandt, vote for everybody on the Indians. Try to get him to the All-Star game.
And me too.
And him too. Do not forget him.
I'll tell you what, he deserves to be an All-Star the way he's playing. He's due for a double, isn't he? I haven't seen him hit one in a couple at bats.
Here's a curveball in there for a strike. "14 extra base hits in his 7-game hitting streak."
Yeah.
It's never happened.
I know.
Think about that.
Multi-hit games, all 7. It's crazy.
2-1. By the way, I don't know if it picks up on the mics for those of you at home. You may have heard helicopters hovering above Oriole Park.
Been here all night.
Yards. Kind of a strange occurrence. About an hour before the start of this game, Arch and I were just getting ready to tape something, and the guys on our crew looked over our shoulders and said, "What is that?" And out beyond center field, a huge plume of, looked like white smoke was billowing from beyond one of the buildings. They later found out a steam pipe burst below the street, causing a hole in the middle of the street outside the ballpark about 10 feet in diameter. And it was just blowing hot steam right out into the air. It was really bizarre. I assume that they've, I don't know, how do you fix it?
We're going to find out on our walk home.
How do you fix it? A giant steam pipe explosion.
We're going to figure it out on our walk home. We'll go right past it.
The 2-2. I'm thinking maybe we might want to look for a different route. We'll be fine. I don't need it.
It's not hot enough in Baltimore for you.
I don't really need a steam bath on the walk home. Baltimore bullpen quiet for the moment. Tillman's payoff pitch to Ramirez. Rip.
Oh, baby, that was,
man,
that was there.
Some groans from the Tribe dugout as well. That looked like it was right over the bag.
Well, it was close. It was close. The umpire's right there, though.
Yeah, Ryan Blackney is right.
I mean, you don't get a better look. He was in great position. But it could not have missed by much.
Ramirez lost the bat but fouled it back out of play. Well, Jose admitted after the game last night, said, yeah, I'm tired right now, but yeah, come to the ballpark and bring that energy. And that's the thing that Jason Kipnis said. He could feel the energy. It's been better. And he said, you know, we kind of have proved to ourselves that we just need to bring that every day. And Ramirez socks another single into right field, extending his hitting streak now to 8 games, and that's 20 hits in his 8-game hitting streak. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. In the first, holy smokes, Edwin Encarnacion with a mammoth shot to the second deck and left. It was 2-0 Cleveland, then a couple of solo shots. Manny Machado and Jonathan Scope tied it. Indians came right back. Austin Jackson, a 2-out RBI single. Francisco Lindor, a 2-out, 2-run double to make it 5-2. Well, that's going to be it for Chris Tillman. He goes 4 innings plus 1 batter. And the Baltimore starting pitching woes continue. Alec Asher will be the new pitcher as the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made, and we'll be right back. Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud.
Oh, baby, look at that.
Do you like Jim Gaffigan?
Yes.
The comedian?
Yes.
He does a great bit on lobster and crab.
Uh-huh.
He said it's bug meat. He's like, why would I eat something that looks like a bug? He kind of ruined it for me a little bit. I gotta admit.
Well, you go out to that restaurant, I bet you'll
I'll still
eat it.
go. Yeah,
You're darn
absolutely.
right.
Alec Asher on for the Orioles, facing Edwin Encarnacion, and he bounces one in there for ball one.
Asher was acquired by the Orioles from the Phillies in exchange for a player to be named later. That was right at the end of spring training.
A couple of weeks later, he made his Orioles debut, April 15th against Toronto. He's also made a handful of starts this year.
Yeah, so he's virtually their long man. And I'll bet they've needed some long men this year. What's it, the 17th time now that the staff has given up 5 runs?
17 in a row.
In a row.
Yeah. And last night when they hit 16, that hadn't been done since 1924.
Well, and when you talk about Baltimore, the history of this franchise has been pitching.
Yeah.
You know, oriented.
Oh man, straight up.
That may bring some rain. Machado doesn't even see it.
Castillo didn't either. Machado bobbled it. Did he catch it? Yeah.
Yeah, he caught it. He bobbled it. I saw he lost it and then picked it back up. That's you give him credit. He stayed with that ball. I could tell he didn't see it, and then he picked it back up, and he'll run back to the Indians dugout and make like a basket catch, but he closes his glove, it hits the heel, and he flips it up and makes the play. Really good job staying with it. So he didn't catch it. It's a good catch. And you notice you never get any help from the opposing team. They're not going to tell you where it is. They're going to help you. He was on his own.
A big out for Asher there.
Yes, it was.
Retiring Encarnacion the way he's been swinging it lately. Here's Lonnie Chisenhall, walked in the first. He singled in the fourth. Back out of play. Up and away. That's been the pitch of the night for Baltimore. Be curious to see what Chris Tillman says after the game, because he could not hit his spot when the catcher put the target inside to a left-handed hitter.
No, he could not. You're right.
Ronnie swings over the top. 2-2.
Got a change up away, pulled the string.
Jose Ramirez led off the inning with a base hit. Encarnacion with a towering foul ball out that was caught by Manny Machado, juggled right in front of the Indians dugout and held on. Now a 2-2 to Lonnie. Blistered foul. Look out, folks.
Tried to throw that little cutter inside. Chisenhall was ready for it.
Kind of reminds me of the first inning when Tillman tried to throw a cutter inside to Jason Kipnis, and he almost hit one out of here. Just went foul in front of the pole down the right field line.
Well, back with the changeup.
And he popped him up. Shallow center. And Jones calls for it at the last moment and somehow makes the catch. Usually that results in disaster.
Well, we've seen Machado do that with the catcher, Castillo, early in the game. And now you'll see Tejada's out there to make the play, and in comes Jones calling him off. And you know, the infielder goes out until he hears that outfielder, so it was a late call. And I guess the bottom line, you make the play. That's all you have to do. And he did. Didn't look very good, but he made the catch.
Carlos Santana 1 for 2 on the night. He had his base hit his last time up. Orioles have a big shift on for Santana, and he takes a strike. You see the second baseman scope way out on the grass.
The Indians now with 2 outs. They're in their comfort zone. 40% of their runs have scored this year with 2 outs.
40%.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. They did their damage back in the 4th when they put 3 on the board with 2 outs. After they had a good start to the inning, you thought that inning was going to be diffused, but they kept it going. They scored 3. And those, when you can score with 2 outs, those are backbreakers for the other team.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Santana awaiting the 1-2 from Alec Asher. And it's lifted to center field, but Jones, a routine catch here, and the inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. It's the Indians 5, the Orioles 2.
Well, season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards code is Tomlin. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
We always talk about how difficult it is sometimes to communicate for outfielders on the ball hitting the gap when you got maybe you have a big crowd. Maybe you're working with a guy who you haven't played a lot with. Maybe it's a rookie. It's a little unsure. And that pop-up in the shallow center field that Jones caught at the last second when Tejada went out. It was funny because after Jones made the catch, he had already run past Tejada, and he was looking at Manny Machado, his longtime teammate, and he said something to him, and I thought it almost looked like he said, "Hey, tell your guy to get out of my way," when he comes out of the center field. And then when he came in between innings, he was talking to Tejada, and Machado was there, the three of them, and he was probably saying, "Hey, I know it's a little tough to see, but if you get out there, remember who I am. I can cover a lot of ground out there."
You take everything you can, and
it's hit pretty well to left. Long run, and Austin Jackson able to run it down. Let's go to Al Pawlowski now for a game break. Well, that certainly, Al, has gotten him going, but has it really gotten the Cubs going? That's, I guess, the bigger question. And does that, can one guy moving in the order really do that for a whole lineup?
No,
probably not.
No, but I'm curious to see how long he keeps him there.
I mean, I was shocked when somebody told me the other day that Kyle Schwarber was hitting a buck. I think it was 170.
Yeah, he's scuffling. Like, well, think about it. He hasn't played. He didn't play all last year. He came up in the World Series, and it was mind-boggling to see what he was able to do.
Yeah,
I know
he played in the World Series.
Well, he's back again this year, and he's scuffling.
Ruben Tejada got a hanging breaking ball, fights it off, and it's into center field for a one-out single.
He stayed back enough on that ball, that curve ball. He double clutched, able to keep his hands back and fought it off into center field.
Well, let's follow up the Anthony Rizzo with the show-stepper. It's Cody Bellinger of the Dodgers. This guy's incredible. 21 home runs. That leads the National League, and he's only played 51 games.
Yeah, it's incredible.
The question will be, can he sustain this? Can he continue to, I'm not saying play at this level necessarily, but will he be, one of those guys that you never hear of again?
No, he's got that swing's too pretty, I think. Now, of course, the pace, I'm sure, will slow down once they start finding places and how to pitch him. But I'll tell you what, it's fun to watch a guy when he's on a streak like that, isn't it?
It has to be fun for the Dodger fans, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's fun. Those guys getting a chance to watch a kid like that come up and do damage like he's done, that's never been done before. That's fun to watch. He's doing it in the National League. Judge is doing it in the American League. Two pretty big markets getting thrilled. One on the East Coast, one on the West.
0-1 is up high.
Okay, going through the lineup now for the third time. They had 2 hits, 2 for 9 the first time through. They were 3 for 9 the second time through.
Now, that's one of the real, I guess, beauties of baseball, is that the torch is passed from generation to generation. And you think about the Bellingers and Aaron Judge. You think about Francisco Lindor, who's still a very young player in this game. And you and I were talking. You were talking, and I were talking. All of a sudden, Jason Kipnis is the grizzled old veteran.
Yeah.
Well, you forget he's about to become one of the all-time leaders at games played at second base. He's going to pass Dwayne Kuiper here.
He's tying Kuiper tonight in games played at second base, and then he'll go past him tomorrow. And then after that, it'll be 60 years since anybody's played as many. That's you're right.
And we think
Redbird was telling me that today. I said, "You got to be kidding me."
We think, didn't Jason Kipnis just get here a year or so ago? No, it's kind of flipped by pretty fast. Look at how far up the ladder he's going.
It is absolutely crazy. 774 games for Kip tonight. It doesn't take long, man. It just it never stops.
Yeah, and Bill Wamsgans, you're talking about the 1920 World Series with the unassisted triple play. It's now the 2-2. And Seth Smith with a line drive single to center. And back comes Baltimore now here in this 5th inning. They'll be going through the order for the 3rd time.
Well, Smith put a nice swing on that ball. I mean, watch him in his head. He stayed down and went right through the middle with it. That was a really pretty swing. Well, now you got to be careful as they're coming out with 1 out. The runners on first and second have a little talk. I wouldn't be surprised to see that bullpen up and getting loose here.
And Tomlin about to make his 70th pitch of the night. But he's got Manny Machado, who's already 2 for 2 at the plate with a home run.
Well, the last time up, he found the hole between short and third. Lindor was able to track it down, but couldn't make the throw or get enough on it to retire Machado. So it was an infield single. But now they've got a pretty good game plan now, you would think, going against Josh Tomlin. He was able to get a couple of these guys with the fastballs the second time through.
Here's where Tomlin knows execution of each pitch of the utmost importance. And it's down at the knees for strike 1.
Nice little cutter. Well, there you can see Josh, 52 of his 70 pitches have been strikes, as he so often does. 4 strikeouts, no walks. Okay, purpose pitch, leaning back. He could use a nice ground ball double play to get out of this inning. Needs to hit at one of his players. They love Machado here, but he has struggled this year for him.
He only hit coming in. Batting average was only 214.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
Tie game. His second home run of the night.
Yeah, that's a breaking ball. He's hit 2 breaking balls off Tomlin. That was a cutter. And boy, I'll tell you what, he's the guy. 4 RBIs out of the 5 that Baltimore has. His 10th career multi-home run game. And that is number 15 for Manny Machado. That was middle of the plate, out, over, gives him some extension, and he gave it a ride. That's the one. You give up the solo home runs, they don't hurt. You give up the 3-run homers, and that's how you come back in a ball game.
Looks like a cutter that just backed up on him.
Yeah, it was a cutter that just was flat. If it doesn't cut, it's not worth it.
So brand new ball game here in the 5th.
And watch the location and watch it. Just into the barrel of the bat. There was no depth to it whatsoever. It was flat, and it got hit out of here a long way.
Nick Goody, the right-hander, is up in Cleveland's bullpen right now, getting loose. With one out in the inning, we'll see if Tomlin can regroup. Swung out and missed. Rick, we talk about Camden Yards being somewhat of a bandbox. The ball flies out of here, but most of the home runs we see
they're legitimate.
they're long. I mean, they're not just wall scrapers.
No, they're going out any ballpark. The home runs that were hit tonight, one by the Indians and the 3 by the Orioles, there's no doubt. Those are mistakes that you'll never get back again.
Adam Jones has the count in his favor now at 2-1. Way outside. 3 balls and a strike. Hit off the end of the bat. Tomlin redirects it the wrong way. And Ramirez, no chance to throw him out.
Well, Josh, he saw the ball coming. He couldn't get to it. You know, it was just an awkward situation. He tried to stab it, but he deflected it is what he did. Watch him try and get back to the ball. He couldn't get his glove back fast enough for that ball, and it deflected off his glove, and it goes to Ramirez, but it'll be an infield single.
No, the worst part of that is it was going to be an easy play. It looked like for Jason Kipnis, who was moving up the middle there because it wasn't hit that hard. But
4 straight hits now for Baltimore.
Mark Trumbo, the last time up, he sent Bradley Zimmer to the wall in center field. The Orioles have some life now here in this 5th inning. Went inside. It didn't hit for a strike, but Trumbo nearly started after it. He was able to stop.
Well, that's what you have to do. You're going to have to pitch these guys inside or make them look in there so it can give you some outside room for the outside part of the plate. Or you've got to consistently make perfect pitches out there, and that's hard to do.
Here's the 1-1. And went inside and almost nicked him. 2 balls and a strike.
This ball game even. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for both teams. The Indians have left 4 to this point. The Orioles have left 2.
Wow, what was wrong with that pitch? Oh. 3 balls and a strike. I guess it was just a ball whipped off the plate. And now Tomlin in a tough predicament here, 3-1.
Boy, he got away with one there. This is one you get away with. Sometimes you make mistakes. That was a little cutter that stayed right there. And to get that one back, yeah, you're lucky. You're lucky that one. He just fouled off.
Out of play again. Baltimore's offense powered purely by the home run ball tonight. 2 solo shots and a 3-run homer accounting for all 5. A couple of singles to center field right before Machado hit the 3-run homer. Another foul ball by Trumbo. And suddenly Tomlin's about to make his 85th pitch of the night.
Yeah.
It does sort of reinforce how good Corey Kluber was last night, though. Because this is more akin to what you're used to seeing games here in this ballpark. 5-5 in the 5th inning.
Well, yeah, you can't make mistakes.
3-2. Swung on and missed. He got him to expand and struck him out. 5th K for Tomlin. 2 down in the inning, and that's going to be it, as Terry Francona will make his move to the bullpen.
Yeah, he was going to leave him right there. He got Trumbo. Trumbo got himself out. He swings at a ball. But Tomlin, that 3rd time through, they took advantage of it. The long ball hurt him today. The 3-run home run.
Josh goes 4 2/3. He'll leave with the game tied at 5 in the 5th. First, the new pitcher is Nick Goody. Goody making his 25th appearance of the year. And he'll be facing Trey Mancini with a runner at first base and 2 down. Indians led it 5-2 coming into the inning, but with 1 out, a couple of base hits up the middle, and then a 3-run homer by Manny Machado to tie the game. His 2nd home run of the night. Nick Goody with the 4th lowest relief earned run average in the American League at 1.32. Just outside, ball one. He has retired 15 of the 24 first batters he has faced in an outing.
Well, you want to see him get the first one here because there's 2 outs in this inning, and keep this game tied and go into the top of the 6th. Adam Jones at one time was a very good base stealer. He's only has 1 on the year, and he's only 1 out of 2, so he doesn't run much anymore. Goody yet to throw a strike.
Goody was credited with his first major league win on June 17th, a couple games ago, in the night game of the doubleheader against the Twins. He went an inning and 2/3 relief in that game. Bullseye on a 3-0 pitch. Goody with his 25th appearance. Brian Shaw leading the way out of that Tribe bullpen with 33 this year. Then you've got Andrew Miller with 31, Boone Logan with 30. Full count, and Boone Logan is up in the bullpen. Big difference, though, is that Brian Shaw's worked at his 33 appearances. He's logged 33 and 2/3 innings. For a guy like Boone Logan in his 30 outings, he's only pitched 15 and 1/3 because he's more that specialist, the left-hander combo matchup. Runner will be off at first. 3-2 pitch. Low, ball 4. Down to under it.
You know, Matt, you mentioned that Nick Goody picked up his first victory of his career a few days ago, but for him, he's kind of battling himself. He admitted that he doesn't have the feel for the slider that he's had earlier in the year, and really the one thing he's been able to do, he said, is he's talked to Cody Allen, he talks to Andrew Miller, he talks to the veterans in that bullpen about how to stay sharp and how to try to get your stuff back without hurting your team, and he's going through it still, it looks like, a little bit tonight.
Yeah. You know, it's still.
Well, they may be able to give you a few tips, but you're going to have to get the feel back yourself when you get out there.
Swing and a miss. Well, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one, right?
Well, look, when you're counted on as much as a guy like he is, and look, he's put himself into that position of being one of the go-to guys for Terry Francona. You have to deal with those peaks and valleys. There's I'm sure times where he goes out there and he feels invincible, and there's other times where he feels like he's not even wearing a glove on his hand. I'm just wondering, what am I doing out here? But you got to fight through it, make the adjustments.
Well, you mentioned it. He worked his way into a spot where he pitches in some tough games. Right now, middle of the ball game, you have a tie one, trying to get out and keep it a 5-5 ball game here. The 8th man to the plate for Baltimore in the inning.
And now Goody ahead of him, 1-2. This game's taken on the feel of one of those old-time AL East games. We're over 2 hours in, and we're in the bottom of the 5th.
Oh yeah. I had a feeling with 2 fly ball pitchers tonight, that's the way it was going to go.
Warm, humid, ball definitely carrying, but these balls that have left the yard tonight will hit pretty well. A 1-2. Foul. The longest home run of the night hit by Edwin Encarnacion in the first inning. He became just the 4th player ever to hit one into the second deck in left field. But that just started the home run barrage. Since then, it's Baltimore that has hit 3 home runs. And they battled back to tie this game. Two balls and 2 strikes. And now a full count. So now you'll have 2 runners moving on the pitch.
For the second time in the inning. Got the full count.
This Oriole crowd finally into the game. Albeit half-heartedly. Here go the runners on the 3-2 pitch. Slowly chopped to Kipnis.
Helped him out.
Goes to end the inning. Manny Machado has gone deep twice tonight. And the Orioles have come back to tie it at 5. Right here in Baltimore when the Indians take on the O's at Camden Yards. Carlos Carrasco, Kevin Gausman in the matchup. Indians Live starts our coverage at 6:30. First pitch at 7. Swinging to summer on Sports Time Ohio and Fox Sports Go, presented by Click It or Ticket. Indians will have to get back to work now with the bats as Yan Gomes steps up here to lead off the 6th. Alec Asher came on in the 5th and retired all 3 that he faced. Gets ahead of Gomes. Gomes reached on a double play and came around to score in the 4th. Couldn't catch up to the fastball. A little high out of his zone. 1-2. Foul that one out of play. And the 1-2 on its way. Breaking ball pulled foul. It's a battle of bullpens the rest of the way, and a battle of wits between two of the game's winningest managers currently. Talk about Terry Francona in his 17th season as a big league manager. 1,418 wins in his career. Castillo can't make the play.
You know, I don't know if he was bothered by that screen. Comes over and that it just comes over. I don't think it hit the netting, Matt. It was close. It comes back, but watch it hit his wrist. That thing stayed in play.
Yeah.
That didn't hit the netting. I would assume they will call that a no play.
Yeah, he's not real happy with himself.
No, that's
and
one
charged him with an error.
Okay. Well, it was in play. It never hit the netting. Not that it was an easy play.
Buck Showalter in his 19th season as manager, as a big league manager, has 1,463 wins. That's how close those two guys are in total wins. Buck's 113 games over 500. Tito's plus 178. And Gomes is down on strikes. 1 away. They're only separated by 155 games. Even though you look at the okay, so Tito obviously started with the Phillies and Buck started with the Yankees. A little different there.
Well, it's not easy getting that first job.
Phillies were a tough club when Tito took over. Swing and a miss. But both these guys have collected a ton of wins over the years. 0-1 pitch.
Yeah, two great baseball people, those guys. They love the game of baseball, very knowledgeable, and they've managed numerous teams to a lot of wins.
Buck Showalter's a 3-time winner of the American League Manager of the Year award. Tito's won it twice. To third, Machado. High throw, pulled him off the bag momentarily, but Mancini able to maintain his foot at first. 2 down. Austin Jackson has had 3 big hits already in this series. Last night, a 2-run double, then an RBI double, and tonight a 2-out RBI single.
Yeah, that set the inning up back in the 4th as they put their 3 on the board. They did it by the hits. The Orioles did it by the long ball.
Alec Asher has faced 5 and has retired all of them. Up high. It goes to 3-0 with Francisco Lindor waiting on deck. taken all the way. That's in for a strike. Just now get some action. It looks like a left-hander getting up in that Orioles bullpen. They just called up Donnie Hart today, sending Vidal Nuno down. A lefty for a lefty. Outside, ball 4. So the inning continues. And Lindor coming up. He is 2 for 3 and a big 2-out 2-run double in the 4th.
Yeah, they've Tillman finally got one on the plate. 2 pitches before that, when it was a full count, he fouled off 2 pitches. They were off the plate, but he was lucky to get it done. This one was on the plate. He drove it into right center field for a double, and that made it 5-2 at the time. He'll get ready to come back into the box now with 2 outs and a man on first.
Richard Blyer is the left-hander up in the Baltimore bullpen currently. But right now, it falls on the shoulders of Alec Asher. And we'll see what Lindor can do.
Thinking Buck's getting that lefty ready for Kipnis, the on-deck hitter. That's why he sent his pitching coach out there. Here comes a changeup.
That's outside, ball 1. Twins lead the White Sox 7-4. They're in the 3rd at Target Field. Two and 0.
Boy, again, he's having a tough time throwing strikes now. Got the first 2 outs pretty quickly.
Looks like we might be seeing that lefty-lefty matchup in this inning.
I would think so. If he cannot throw a strike, but you can see him sitting down there peacefully. He just, when his mind's made up, he just scoots right up and just runs out to the field. Let's go.
Ball 4. Back-to-back 2-out walks. That's going to be it for Asher. The lefty Blyer will be coming on to face Jason Kipnis when we come back to Baltimore. 2 on, 2 out, tied at 5 in the 6th. On with 2 out. And Buck Showalter goes to Richard Blyer to get a very big out here in the 6th inning. Now last night Blyer came into the ball game and pitched the 9th inning. He was victimized by some bad defense.
Yes, he
allowed
was.
an unearned run in that performance.
Yeah, a couple errors in that inning. He only allowed the 1 run unearned. But trying to keep this a 5-5 game after Asher got the first 2 out and then walked the next 2 guys. I think it was on 9 pitches.
Richard Blyer was originally a 6th-round pick of the Rangers back in 08. Bounced around with a number of different organizations before hooking on with the Yankees. Prior to the 2016 season, and then last year got called up to the majors in May and made his debut at the age of 30 years old. I guess he was 29, just after he had turned 29. I guess there are only 12 Yankee pitchers since 1919 have made their major league debut after turning 29. He had logged almost 1,000 innings in the minor leagues before getting his first shot in the big leagues. Weak ground ball to second, and Blyer does the job. Indians strand a pair. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 5.
A Cody Allen jersey, courtesy of Car Parts Warehouse. That'll take place Saturday when we return home. The Minnesota Twins will be in town. You can also get $2 domestic cans out in the right field district. Just go to Indians.com for the ticket information.
Wellington Castillo leads off. Bottom of the 6th for Baltimore. He's 0 for 2 on the night.
I'm thinking Goody on probably for just this hitter. The Indians have double barrel action. Boone Logan up. There's the left-hander, and Shaw joins him.
Goody's 0-2. Goody had him down 0-2, trying to put him away. Can't get him to expand his strike zone to this point. He's going to stay with that slider. And that was a good one.
Yes, it was.
That one stayed right on the outside edge of the plate. And Castillo down on strikes. And Terry Francona going back to the bullpen.
Yeah, that was started on the outside, stayed right there. It would have been a strike had he not swung at it. So he gets his 3 guys, or 2 outs, I should say. He walked the first guy, but job well done. Turn it over and bring in Logan.
Boone Logan will be on to face the left-handed hitting Hyun-Soo Kim when we come back. '31st appearance this year. And he's on to face the left-handed hitting Hyun-Soo Kim, who is lifted for a pinch hitter. And that man coming to the plate is Joey Rickard. Joey Rickard this year as a pinch hitter, 1 for 4. And Logan misses outside, ball 1. Logan with a good fastball evens the count of 1 ball, 1 strike.
Actually, you look at Boone's numbers this year, left-handers are actually hitting better than the right-handers are. Lefties have a 270 batting average compared to the righties at 227.
foul right back. Boone Logan has made more than 600 appearances in the big leagues. Every single one of them out of the bullpen. Swung on and missed. He took care of him. 2 down.
Gets him with the slider. You swing over the top. Good pitch. So they get the second out here.
And Ruben Tejada will be the batter. 1 for 2 tonight. Starts him off with that breaking ball, gets ahead. Chased it down on the dirt. Nothing into the count. Base is empty, 2 down in the 6th. Game tied at 5. And he swung and missed to end the inning. So the Indians strike out the side. Goody fans the first. Boone Logan strikes out the next 2. We go to the 7th. Knotted up at 5. The injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By the stylish 2017 Kia Optima. And by Smart Path Forward. Lakeland Community College is your Smart Path Forward. Enroll now. 5-5, 7th inning. 3-4-5 hitters coming up for Cleveland. Left-hander Richard Blyer still in there pitching for the O's. Joey Rickard stays in left field. Jose Ramirez is 1 for 2. He walked and scored in the first, grounded out in the 3rd, and then singled in the 5th. Look to center. That's going to drop for a base hit.
A multiple hit game.
And Ramirez aboard to start the 7th inning for Cleveland. Miller Time is brought to you by Miller Lite.
Oh. A little slider that he caught on the inner part of the plate going up into the second deck. You can see where that guy caught it. That got the Indians on the board early.
Only the fourth in the history of this park to go into that second deck, second this year. Both he and Manny Machado. That is a long way up there, because that second deck is set farther back than, you know, you think of an upper deck sometimes might hang over. That thing's quite a distance back.
Yes, it is. That's quite a poke. And Machado, he hit his second one a long way, and it missed that upper deck. You know, it fell short of it, but he hit his a long way as well.
I didn't write it down, but I think it was 454. The distance on Edwin's home run, one of the longest ever hit in this park, period. But he's been on that kind of a roll of late where it seems like every home run he hits, you're just in awe of how far the ball goes. He's in the hole here, 0-2 now. Yanks it, but foul.
That thing's still moving. That girl's pointing. Go get it. Well, when you make an 0-2 pitch, that was a breaking ball inside. You've got to make sure it's definitely inside, where the only way you can hit it is foul.
One ball, two strikes. Baltimore bullpen is quiet. Indians led this game 5-2 after a 3-run fourth inning. But then in the bottom of the fifth, the Orioles answered with 3 of their own on a 3-run homer by Machado to even the game up.
Well, they were talking before the game, and I don't know what they were talking about, but they both have home runs. We'll see if Eddie can tie them at 2 apiece. He's had a couple decent pitches when he was down on the count 0-2.
Outside. He's back to even now at 2-2. Ramirez, the go-ahead run at first, held there by Mancini. Line drive, base hit, right field. Ramirez hits the bag at second, but he'll hold there. Smith did a nice job of closing quickly on that baseball to keep Ramirez from going all the way to third.
Well, it just wasn't hit hard enough, and you know you're shallow out there to begin with. He tried to decoy him like he was going to catch the ball, but that didn't fool Ramirez. He just could not get there, even though Smith's arm out right is not that good. So you can't take the chance. So he fights one off after he was down 0-2. And there's a good start to this inning here now with back-to-back singles.
So Jose Ramirez, not only does he have an 8-game hitting streak, but that's 8 straight multi-hit games. Kenny Lofton did that back in 1996. Now Lonnie Chisenhall bunts. The pitcher throws to first, and Lonnie is retired. A sacrifice executed very well, though. And there's two in scoring position now for Santana.
That gives Santana a chance as the bullpen for the Orioles gets up. Castro now throwing.
Carlos Santana 1 for 3 tonight.
They just may put him on. You know, first base open. You go ahead and you bring the double play attack with Gomes hitting. He did hit into a double play earlier, although it wasn't the conventional way. So the intentional walk to Santana. You know, he did hit the home run right-handed last night.
And Buck wants the righty-righty matchup, so he'll go to the bullpen. Not sure if Castro's fully ready, but he'll have to be.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's ready.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Tie game. We'll be right back. Miguel Castro coming on for Baltimore. Got called up from Double-A on June the 12th, where he made 5 appearances. He was 2-0 with a 5.59 ERA, so didn't exactly set the world on fire. The Orioles got him from Colorado for a player to be named later on April 7th after he made the Rockies opening day roster.
Well, Buck Showalter's bringing him on for one thing. He would like to see a ground ball and get a double play to get out of the inning. That's why they walk Santana. Bring the double play attack. Gomes looking for something he can hit in the air, at least to the outfield. Bags are juiced. Opportunities there for the Indians to take a lead.
Go-ahead run, Jose Ramirez at third, Encarnacion at second, Santana at first. And Miguel Castro with a first pitch strike with a breaking ball. Gomes swung at a ball that looked like it was in off the plate.
Yeah, it was. He was, you know, he took the first breaking ball and he did. He got too aggressive. This is a backup slider that stays off the dish. That ball is in the right-hand batter's box that he swung at right there. So now he's going to have to battle down in the count 0-2.
And he struck him out on 3 pitches. 2 down.
Well, you're going to see him come in. The best pitch is the first one on the slider to get strike one. So we got to look at it. Second one inside. This one out over the plate. He comes through it. That's out number 2, and now they have an opportunity to get out of the 7th inning.
Bradley Zimmer looking for that big clutch hit now. He doubled in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 4th, grounded out his last time up. And squibs one foul, third base side. Castro, fastball slider, occasional changeup. Game potentially on the line right here if you're Baltimore. Throw down to third, but Ramirez easily back in there. I mean, Zimmer could really break their backs with a gap shot here.
Well, the 2-out hit is something that they have been thriving on. Told you earlier, 40% of the runs coming with 2 outs this year. That's the situation we are in, and it was Zimmer who drew a walk back in the 4th inning that kept that inning going.
Fouled out of play.
And he's down to 2 strikes, 1-2 count. But he was down in that inning 0-2 and ended up working the walk from Tillman.
Really long look in for Castro, but now time finally called.
Yeah, he didn't want the pitch that Castro was calling for, or Castillo was calling for.
The 1-2. And ground ball to first, scooped by Mancini, and the Orioles dodge a huge bullet here in the 7th. The Indians leave them loaded. Stretch time still tied at 5.
Five tie. The Indians couldn't push one across. Baltimore able to get out of that inning, and it'll be Boone Logan on the face of the top of the lineup. He will be in here for one hitter. Seth Smith is the hitter he will face, and then you turn it over to Machado and Jones, and you have Brian Shaw up in the bullpen for them.
Seth Smith 1 out of 3 tonight. Singleton scored ahead of the Machado homer in the 5th. And he gets ahead of him with a good fastball for strike 1. Back-to-back fastballs, and Smith yet to offer. Perhaps he was thinking he's going to throw me sliders, nothing but sliders, and instead he's seen 2 fastballs.
Yeah, sometimes you can second guess yourself.
Threw it right by him. Just blew him away with fastballs there. And that's 4 straight strikeouts for Indians pitching. And that's going to be it for Boone Logan. He faces 2 batters. Or excuse me, he faces 3 batters and struck them all out. Bryant Shaw will be coming on next for the Tribe. Tied at 5 here in the 7th.
He is appearing for the 34th time. 1-1 record, 2.41 ERA. He's coming on to face Machado and Jones, the scheduled hitters. And Manny Machado has kept Baltimore in this ballgame. His first at bat, he got him on the board with a solo home run. He singled and then hit a 3-run home run to tie this ballgame up at 5 back in the 5th inning. Had a cutter off of Josh Tomlin, so he brought him right back and has carried this team tonight.
Manny Machado. Shaw fires, and it's a strike. 0-2. And a foul right back. Boy, that was a fastball at 96, and Machado took a healthy rip at it. 5 here in the bottom of the 7th. Threw the bat at it to stay alive. It's one of those games where it was 2-2 after 2 innings, and the way the ball was flying, you figured a lot of runs scored tonight. But once the Indians took the 5-2 lead and then Baltimore answered with 3 in the bottom of the 5th to tie it, the bullpens came on and they've been
That's the key, the bullpen.
Yeah. Deep right. Lonnie is back on the track. Leaps, can't make the play. Machado's on his way to second. And it's a 1-out double. It stayed in the yard, but Chisenhall just couldn't get back far enough to make a play on it.
You know, he was playing very shallow and had a ways to go to get back. He jumped probably a step too early going after this ball. It was on the warning track. Watch it. He hangs him a pitch. That's the breaking ball out over. Lonnie jumps just a hair too early. He had one more step to get back and probably could have made the catch, but he gets over his glove. It'll go for a double, but as you said, it stayed in the ballpark.
Now Adam Jones 1 for 3 tonight. Right field, fair ball. Orioles take the lead. And Jones into second with an RBI double. Shaw has come on. He's faced 2 batters and both have burned him for doubles.
Well, and there's a really good swing, and I think Adam Jones was he was going that way no matter what. He knows the cutter's coming, but he got on top of that baseball, hit a line drive down the line, and drives in the go-ahead run here with 1 out. Go back-to-back doubles, and they get to Shaw quickly.
And it brings up Mark Trumbo 0 for 3.
Gives the crowd new life here. But right now, Shaw and the Indians got to try and keep it a 1-run game. They had the opportunity in the top half of the 7th inning, bases loaded, 1 out, to do some damage and take the lead. They were able to get out of it, and back comes Baltimore after 1 out. Logan did his job, struck out the 3 he faced. Shaw comes in, and it's back-to-back doubles, and they did it in a hurry.
Hits now even at 10 apiece. And the 0-2 to Trumbo, chopped to short. Lindor throws him out. 2 down. Jones moves to third. And that will bring up Trey Mancini, who has singled, walked, and fly to center. Out of play. Now the 0-1. Hit on the ground to second base. Jason Kipnis will throw him out. Baltimore takes the lead. Back-to-back doubles by Machado and Jones. It's 6-4 or 6-5 Birds as we go to the 8th. Is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Plenty of changes for Baltimore now as we go to the 8th inning. We'll start with the pitcher, number 60, Michael Givens.
This guy leads all relievers in all of baseball with 6 wins this year, and leads all the Baltimore pitchers coming out of that pen with 35 strikeouts. So this guy can be tough as the setup man.
Craig Gentry just into the ball game, goes to left for defense, and the pitch to Austin Jackson down low. And Joey Rickard went from left field over to right. Jackson drove in a run with a base hit in the 4th inning. Trying to get something started here in the 8th. That sidearm delivery, and he can still whip it in there. 97 miles an hour.
He has a great arm, and he's got a funky delivery. Looks like he hides the baseball well. Tough to pick it up.
A little bit of that half El Tiante move.
Just, you know, he slings it in there. Just gives you just a quick little turn, not much.
Plays off. And the count is full at 3-2. Lindor waiting on deck. Kipnis due 3rd. That was inside, and Jackson fought it off. It was probably going to be ball 4, but
yeah, but 2-seamer coming in there. He was looking for that low dart away. He runs one in on his hands. It's a nice job just to stay alive.
He wants that low dart away now.
Yeah, he does.
And Jackson up the middle, cut off by Tejada. Throws it low. What a pick at first by Mancini.
That was a good pick, boy. He helped his shortstop out there. Tejada in the dirt. It's good at bat by Jackson. Tejada, but short hops him. Boy, that was a nice pick, boy. That first guy, you get him on, you never know what can happen. So Mancini made a big play to help his shortstop out.
Now Francisco Lindor. He's reached safely 3 times tonight. A single, a 2-run double, and he walked back in the 6th inning. Popped up and not a play. 1-1. Oh my goodness. That is unbelievable how many times he's made that call tonight, and that pitch isn't even close to the plate.
Yeah, that's, you couldn't hit that pitch with an ironing board.
And now you're forced to swing it that way.
You do with 2 strikes. Yes, you do.
2 down. Right around the warning track at Progressive Field, or 50 miles of Sandy Alomar when you bike to Cure and Velasano. Visit velasano.org/Cleveland Indians for details on how you can team up with the Tribe. Jason Kipnis will bat with 2 down and the bases empty. Kipnis 0 for 4 on the night. Couple of foul ball outs. Michael Givens grew up in Plant City, Florida. And first baseman Trey Mancini went to Winter Haven High School, so they were right down the road from each other.
They were partners,
Central Florida. Plant City was at one time the spring training home of the Reds.
Cincinnati Reds, right? The Strawberry Festivals down there in the springtime.
You had the Tigers in Lakeland, the Indians in Winter Haven, and they were all right next to each other. 2-1.
Oh, he's going to hold it there because he's been able to get it called there.
Well, now you get the fans wondering why it's not called.
Yeah, I know.
And he popped him up. Left fielder Gentry makes the catch. Indians go in order. We go to the last of the 8th. 6-5 Baltimore. Of Mazda. Ramirez and Encarnacion stay hot. Jose 2 more hits. Encarnacion 2-run homer. Tomlin could not put up the early zeros tonight, and Baltimore was able to knock him out in the 5th when they tied the game.
Big 3-run home run. He gave up 3 homers tonight. Got McAllister coming on in relief of Brian Shaw. First 2 hitters Brian faced gave up back-to-back doubles, and that's the difference in the ball game.
Jonathan Scope fouls one back. He's 1 for 3 with a home run. left and a base hit. Baltimore's leadoff man aboard.
It's the breaking ball from McAllister, and you can see middle of plate, and it goes to left field for a base hit. The Orioles now with the 11 hits. With 3 home runs, they got a pair of doubles. But they had to come from behind, and that's one thing they do. They play very well in their ballpark. They're like 2 different teams, home and the road. Baltimore, 23-12 at home. They're 11-23 on the road. So they take advantage of their home field.
To third, Ramirez will go to second. There's one. Kipnis on to first. Double play. They go around the horn to kill 2.
There you go. Nice job turning it. McAllister makes his pitch. No hurry. And it must be nice to be a second baseman now. You don't have to worry about someone sliding into you. You know, you can sit up there, just make sure you take your time and you can turn it easy.
It's still surprising to me sometimes to watch Jason take that throw and stand behind the bag instead of I would still feel like I'd want to come off the bag and just get a more clear line of sight, but he stands right behind the bag and throws. Maybe for him it's just better, more of a straight throw right down the line first. But a lot of second basemen come across that bag.
They will, yes.
To center, Zimmer makes the catch and will go to the ninth. 6-5 Baltimore. Will come on here looking for his 13th save of the year, and he'll have to go through the meat of the order to do it. Jose Ramirez, Edwin Encarnacion, and Lonnie Chisenhall due up.
Brock is 12 for 15 in save opportunities this year. Over his last 10 games, has tossed 10 1/3 scoreless innings. Surrendering just 1 hit, a walk, and he's striking out 11. And you know they're having to fill because Zach Britton, their closer, has been on the disabled list. O'Day has been out. So these guys are I mean, they're having to do a patchwork job, and he's doing a nice job.
Well, this guy's no slouch. We've seen him in that setup role before. And Ramirez fouls one back. But hopefully the Indians can find a way to get to him.
Well, get that first man aboard. You've got the right guy at the plate.
I thought that was interesting, Rick. They said that Brock is only the 5th pitcher in Orioles history to notch a perfect save, a 1-2-3 save in 3 straight games.
That's a rarity anymore.
Zach Britton's done it, Darren O'Day's done it, Jim Johnson and Jorge Julio. Pitch outside. 1-2.
Well, when their pitching is at full strength, or that bullpen is, this is a tough Orioles team. But if you get some injuries out there, it falls apart. The starters don't go and give you the distance you need, and that bullpen is as thin as it is, so it breaks down.
Indians still with a fighting chance, though, if they can get a runner aboard, no question. And the 2-2 fouled off.
Good job to stay alive off the end of the bat. That little splitter that he throws on the outside.
Tribe got their leadoff man aboard in the 5th. It was Jose Ramirez, but then that's when Buck went to his bullpen. Asher retired 3 in a row. They had 2 on in the 6th, but could not cash in.
Yeah, their inning was the 7th. They had it all set up.
And they had him loaded with 1 out in the 7th. He went back to his bullpen for another maneuver. He went and got Miguel Castro. He struck out Gomes, got Zimmer to ground out, and then Givens worked a 1-2-3/8. And so it all comes down to Brad Brock in the 9th, with Baltimore protecting a 1-run lead. And Ramirez with the chopper to second. Scoops it, throws him out, 1 away. The game started off with a lot of promise thanks to this guy, Edwin Encarnacion, with a mammoth 2-run clout to the upper deck, second deck in left field. And the Indians eventually built a 5-2 lead. But Baltimore has scored 4 unanswered. This was the 2-run homer by Edwin in the 1st inning. Down low, 1-1. He's seen his fair share of Brock playing for Toronto in the AL East. You face these guys quite a bit. But you can see Brock has plenty of velocity, rushing it up there. 87 miles an hour.
He has a great arm. And he is ahead of Encarnacion, and Castillo just wanted to make sure. You're going to miss. You miss off the plate. I don't think you have to tell him. He knows that.
Quite a game in Minneapolis. Twins lead the White Sox 8-7 in the 6th inning there. Boston clobbering Kansas City 8-1 there in the 8th inning at Kauffman Stadium. Tigers and the Mariners tied 2-2 early in Seattle. Down low, 2-2.
You see where Castillo was sitting over there, sliding way off of that plate to make sure he's not going to make a mistake on the plate.
Teams are finding that the scouting reports they had for Encarnacion they got dated real quick because of the adjustments he's made.
Splitter.
Full count.
Change, so he works a count full.
A lot of these pitches that we're seeing thrown to Encarnacion were pitches that earlier in the year he was chasing after and swinging at.
Yes, he was.
But now that he's kind of locked in offensively, they're having to maybe change their thinking. Payoff pitch. He threw him a changeup and he fouls it off. Lonnie Chisenhall waiting on deck, then Carlos Santana. Low ball 4. He has walked him. The tying run aboard. Go ahead run coming to the plate. We're going to get a pinch runner for Encarnacion, and it will be Daniel Robertson.
Tying a run aboard. You know, these are tough alleys. If you find the alley out here, Robertson will be able to score, but they're going to play awfully deep.
Lonnie Chisenhall tonight has walked, singled, fly to center, and lay down a sacrifice bunt. Way outside, ball 1. And suddenly Brad Brock has made 15 pitches, 7 balls, 8 strikes. Calls for the changeup, and that's outside. 2-0, and out goes Castillo. Concerned Buck Showalter.
Well, when you get ahead of Encarnacion 1-2, they wanted to be careful. He ended up walking him on that last pitch, the changeup. But this is where you have to get aggressive and come back after the next guy. If you go ahead, you pitch around the guy that can hurt you.
Now Lonnie can be very selective here. Robertson held at first. Whoa, 3-0. Carlos Santana eagerly awaiting his opportunity on deck.
Well, got to take all the way here.
A 3-0 fastball. This has been an iffy call tonight. That's still not a strike. It's unbelievable.
He's made a lot of calls like that tonight, and if he throws it again, you don't want to swing at it. That one was a little bit closer. That one was on the plate more. But he's not going to give him anything, one swing where he could pull it and hit a home run. If you're going to get him, you're going to have to go to left field.
Now the payoff pitch. Staying out there with that fastball.
Yeah, reliever, he will not come in this situation by any means. You're going to have to drive him. If you're going to hit one, you're going to have to hit it to left. Maybe if he gets on that plate, you can hit one into left center field and find a gap.
Again the 3-2. And again he spoils it. Up to 98 on that fastball.
You know, if you're throwing that ball out there where he's calling it a strike, why even? You got to stay out there, don't you? Because even if you miss, you got a chance to get a call to strike.
Yeah. And
you're forcing Lonnie to swing at that pitch out there that you really can't do a whole lot with. See, he called for that ball inside. He still threw it away. I mean, when you look at it, look at where all those pitches are. On the outside edge or off the plate. So he's not going to change his pattern. Again, Castillo wanted it in, and Brock said that was the best pitch he had in the at-bat.
It's a heck of an at-bat going on right now. The 3-2. Once again, line to left. Base hit. Robertson stops at second. What a job by Lonnie Chisenhall to just fight to stay alive, and then finally got one that he could hit the other way hard.
It was a great at bat, and he fouled off all the fastballs. This was the changeup or the splitter, and he gave him a chance to get on top of it. The fastballs he was fouling off, that was off the plate, but still a very good at bat by Chisenhall to keep it rolling. Now they have runners at first and second and one out.
Yeah, Roger McDowell goes out to talk briefly with Brock. Daniel Robertson comes over to talk with Mike Sarbaugh just to get an idea on what he's going to be looking at on a base hit to the outfield. And I'm sure Sarbaugh told him if it goes to center, be careful. That guy's got a cannon. The batter will be Carlos Santana. With 2 on and 1 out, Carlos is 1 for 3 this evening. Santana with a home run last night, 3 runs batted in. He's in the book, as you would say.
Yeah, just a short little sample size, 2 for 5. Right now, you see what Chisenhall did. That was the at-bat where he stayed away with everything for the most part, and Lonnie got the base hit the other way.
Well, the first pitch was away. You know that's pretty much where he's going to these left-handed hitters. He's seen how far the ball goes up there on the Utah street. Santana can't help himself. It's 0-2.
This was a very good off-speed pitch. The splitter or his change started out down, and it just ended up going south even further. Started out at the knees, but did not end up a strike.
Tying run in scoring position. Go-ahead run at first base. It's 1-2. Well, they're making Brock work for it. He's up to 26 pitches. In off the plate.
Well, that right there was a purpose pitch to take him off the outside. It's a good pitch. It's a good effective pitch. But when you're giving him so much away, you can't give that pitch inside. But it is a very effective pitch.
Well, Carlos, as is usually the case, he may be down early, but he works it back to even. And a ground ball to first. Mancini goes to second. There's one. Back to first. Not in time. Indians are still alive with runners at the corners.
Great hustle by Santana to beat it out. He was getting down that line, I'll tell you what, to keep it alive. They had to go 3-6-1 on the double play. Mancini makes a good throw. in return. Here it comes, but Santana beats it out. They stay alive. Man, that's a breath of fresh air. That was a good pitch down, and he is hustling, man, digging it out. Good job. That's going to give Gomes an opportunity, and he also had an opportunity in the 7th with 1 out. And the bases loaded. He struck out, but he has a chance now with 2 outs to tie this game up. That was good hustle.
Let's see if Gomer can make it pay off for him. 0 for 4 on the night. This crowd of 22,891, they smell a victory here in Baltimore. They haven't had many lately to cheer about as Brock blows it by Gomes at 97 miles an hour.
Well, Gomes has got to make sure you get the ball down here. He can't catch up to that upstairs.
Here's the 0-1. Right field. Back goes Rickard. And the Orioles win it. .65 is the final as Baltimore hangs on for the 1-run victory. They scored 4 unanswered to pull it out and end the Indians' 6-game win streak. Baltimore, who had lost 9 of 12, gets back to .500 with the victory at 35-35. Indians are 37-32. Kind of a tough pill to swallow because at 5